morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Monday, the 23rd of September. Congratulations to Arsenal, who won the first trophy of the season, the moral victory trophy.
Which one?
Moral victory.
What?
I know I can't say moral because of my R's, but apparently, according to Piers Morgan, it was a moral victory for Arsenal yesterday. So congratulations to Arsenal for that trophy. And according to Egal, there's also a trophy for making Manchester City feel uncomfortable at their own ground. So congratulations on the double for Arsenal this season. Nice to see them celebrating and taking the draw magnanimously, as you would expect. Big up this morning to Jimbo's here, Chang's here, and super sub AJ's here today because Mr. Nicholas is off doing big time things. But Jimbo, how are you, first of all?
Oh, lovely weekend. Lovely weekend. That's all I can say. Lovely weekend.
Yeah, it weren't bad, was it? Mr. Chang, how are you feeling today?
Feeling a bit under the weather after the weekend's festivities or the weekend's activities with the daughters. Everyone had a wonderful time at the local nearby water park, but unfortunately, because of a mixture of the humid conditions and the sun, and also the late shower towards the end, I might be coming down with a bit of a flu or a cold, but I'm still holding on. There's nothing ibuprofen and some chicken soup can't cure, and I am very much looking forward to this midweek's Europa League fixture against Karabakh.
Good. I hope you feel better soon, Mr. Chang. And AJ, the super sub, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. It was a good weekend, a very good weekend. So, yeah, what's not to be smiling about, right?
Exactly. What a good start. Oh, and congratulations also to Anthony Clark, who gets the trophy for biting. Well done. I got my first catch of the day with a big old bite from Anthony saying, still got more recent trophies in our cabinet than your dusty cabinet. Oh, the pain. That's a really good one. I've never heard that before, but it hurt my heart. But big up to you for getting the prize for the first bite of the day. And who else is in the chat? We've got Drew La saying, afternoon, Kate, Jimbo and all. Big up, Drew La. Yes, big up to Anthony Clark saying, big up, Kate, Jimbo. Come on, you gunners. Daniel Coys is here saying big up to you too. Just a harmless potato. Big up Kate, Jim, Chang and AJ. Good to see you, Spud. Hope you're doing well. 9:05 p.m. in Melbourne over with Peter. Good to see you, Peter. Designed to Win says afternoon, Kate, Jimbo and everyone else here. Lisa Chica, Lisa's here, says good afternoon, you gorgeous lot. Hope you're well, lots of love. Good to see you, Lisa. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you on live. Yeah, Peter's saying that's okay, mate. It's who we are. Exactly. Shemtan's here. Good afternoon, Princess Kate, Sir Jimbo, Mr. AJ, the youngest and good old man, Mr. Chang. On my way to hospital again, where Mum has been since Saturday. Not a good weekend. Bless you, Shem. I'm ever so sorry to hear that. I hope she's okay. But
I hope she's on the mend, mate.
Yeah,
sending her love.
Yeah, send our love to your mum. She won't have a clue who we are, but we're sending our love to her anyway, and hope she gets better soon. So drive careful to you. Feel like I've started off on a bit of a hyper sort of. I don't know. It's all the talk of Arsenal winning these pointless trophies. It was funny. I was reading Twitter this morning. The tears were everywhere. The tears. Beyond 72 says got another player sent off by kicking the ball away, switching off for a corner after holding out 45 minutes. Spursy by any other name might win a trophy, but fossil football ain't winning a title. Now, what Jim? The first thing I said to you at the end of the game was if Tottenham had given away that lead after holding on for that long, if they'd have given that lead away, it would have been called Spursy. When it comes to Arsenal, it's called they were so brave. And they tried, and it was a masterclass, so they just got caught off guard for a second. What's your thoughts, Jim? Is it one rule for one and one rule for Tottenham?
I don't really care, Kate. You know, all I know is we won 3-1, and then they threw away a 2-1 lead, with 10 men. So they at the end of the day, people are always going to find things to call Spurs because of the trophy drought and the way things have happened at the club. But when we win a trophy this season, then that has to stop. Simple as that. But we will win a trophy this season, and Arsenal won't.
Oh, I like the sound of that. As Jacob would say, now you're talking to me nicely. Chang, I mean, Jim said it. Gooner shithousery coming back to bite him on the arse. The time wasting. It did actually come back to bite him. Bye.
Yes. Sorry, colleagues at the back. I apologize for that.
That's all right. Just hi, bye. What did you think of the game, Chang? Did you watch it?
Wow. What can I say? I did watch, I think, the entire match of the day 2 highlights early this morning when I was on the drive up from Malacca to work. And from what I gathered, I think City had more than enough chances to actually put the game beyond Woolich's reach in the first 15, 20 minutes before they equalized. And Haaland being Haaland, I think given the opportunities that he's had, I think that was the first goal was a given. And they should have put the game beyond reach. But unfortunately, Calafiori, I mean, if you were to cast your mind back a month or two ago, during preseason, how often we wax lyrical about Calafiori and what a signing is for Woolwich. Well, he proved us all right. We have seen his screamer. For me, that would be the pick of all the goals that was in the match. And yeah, I think it was kind of reckless by let me see now. Was it Trossard? Trossard, his second successive yellow in as many minutes. That was reckless, to say the least. Of course, the Woolwich fans would say that it was unjust and unfair for Michael Oliver to be dishing out those yellows in such a high stakes game. But if that's the if the foul was committed to the letter of law, then I don't see why Trossard shouldn't be sent off. And for the large majority of the second half, I thought they were actually good for the 3 points, the way they held on. And it took a deflected, I think it was John Stones, was it? A deflected John Stones equalizer very late in injury time in the second half for the tie to be called a draw, a stalemate. But it's something that I'm sure the red half of Merseyside benefited greatly from now that they are second in the table. All in all, I think it was a very entertaining game. If we had been watching it live, it should be popcorn football. And if anything, this match in itself has taught me that this season is going to be a very open season where nothing can be taken for granted.
Okay, can I just say, right, that Arsenal, right, it's their own fault because they sit back and they park the bus. They done it against us, right, and that could have ended up a draw. That should have been a draw, that game. But they all this parking the bus, you know, if they come out and played their football, which we know we can play their football because they're a good team and they play some fantastic football. If they'd have come out and played their football, there's a massive chance they would have won that game, right? Because Man City are vulnerable at the back. We've seen that. So for them to go in the lead and then park the bus, to me, is ludicrous. They're not going to win. They're not going to win a title by doing that. They need to come out and play their football.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say big up Vindaloo, and also I've got 4 words for you: ifs, buts, monkey, nuts. If my mum had a willy, she would be a man. That's all I'm going to say to that. But AJ, I'm going to come to you. What did you think of Arsenal and their 472 players they put in defence?
And in the coaching staff and the team boss as well. In the interest of fairness, I will start by saying I do think it was an incredible defensive effort to try to keep out Manchester City for 50 minutes. I think they managed it. However, that aside, let me give an alternate view. When you start pissing around and taking liberties and start rolling around on the floor, and before the ball's out of play, your medical stuff going on because your player's down with cramp and all these dark arts, right? All this rubbish, all this nonsense. You get what you deserve. right? Blocking the keeper, 2 players blocking the keeper at the corner. Is that a foul, isn't it? Well, law of the game, it depends on how the referee sees it. I'll tell you what is in the laws of the game, what is a definite no-no. If you kick the ball away, the referee gives you a yellow card. It doesn't matter if you aren't on the yellow card. It doesn't matter if you already have one. The rule is you don't kick the ball away. The ref has got every right to give you a yellow for that. He was already on a yellow. He kicked the ball away. He got a yellow. Why is there any crying? Why is there any question about whether or not it should have been a yellow card? The law of the game states if you are seen to be kicking the ball away, the referee has every right and is obliged to card you for it. Stupidity on behalf of Trossard. Whinging, crying, bitching, kvetching, moaning, call it what you like. Arsenal sympathisers. Oh, Arsenal were hard, but no, they weren't. No, they weren't. It was a match. Their player made the mistake, put them in a bad situation, and they couldn't hold out. I think, as my man Roy Keane said, great performance, but you still conceded 2 goals. You didn't win the match. So stop the crying. Go on to your next match. Try to maintain some sort of common sense within your players. Make sure they understand the rules of the game, so you're not constantly getting players sent off for the same thing. Maybe you'll have a chance of winning something other than the biggest bitches of the Premier League. Maybe that's a trophy they need to be given.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Can I say, right?
Yeah.
Two things. Trossard was on a yellow card, right? He come over. He didn't try to tackle the guy. He just smashed him straight in the back and knocked him over. He could have got a yellow card for that, and then he kicks the ball away. So there can be no arguments about the sending off. And the other thing, Vindaloo just said they scored 91 goals last season, but they didn't park the bus last season. They seem to have started it this season. I don't understand why.
Because I think they're trying to go by the phrase that everybody uses all the time of, I think it was Brian Clough or was it Ferguson that said, attacks win games, defences win titles. So that they know their strongest area is their defence. I don't think anyone can dispute that. But I totally agree with what Ronnie just said, and I actually said it to you yesterday. They look boring this year, Arsenal, and they haven't got the attacking threat. They just, I mean, I really fancied them to win the league this season, but after watching them, I don't see it happening. I think they look boring.
I don't understand why they're parking the bus, okay? Because they don't need to park the bus. You know, they've got a good team from top to bottom, right? They will score goals if they attack. So yesterday, by doing what they've done, they've probably cut their own throats and lost 2 points because of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we did see last year they were criticised for not going all out because they was dominating City last year and they went out and played quite cagey. And I remember saying, look, at the end of the day, a point's better than no points, blah, 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 blah. But really, I don't know. Arsenal looks so different to last year. I can't put my finger on what it is. It feels like when you watch a team who've lost, of course, I've just answered my own question. It could be the fact that Odegaard's not there. That could be what it is, because I was just going to say, it feels like when a team loses their most important player, and I'm just clicking in my brain that Odegaard's not there. And I think they miss him massively.
It could also have something to do, and I think I said it back in the last season before the season kicked off. I think Arsenal are going to go backwards. And when I say go backwards, I don't mean they're going to fall backwards through the table. I mean they're going to drop off. They're not going to reach the height that they reached last season. They're going to regress. And the reason I think that is because how many times can you be the nearly men, get yourself to the point where you are playing unbelievable football? Let's be fair, right? Arsenal last season were incredible. They were solid defensively. They played amazing football. They took teams apart regularly with consummate ease. However, their best, their very, very best just was not good enough. How many times can that be the case before it starts having a negative psychological effect on you? And I think that is going to show this season. Even at full strength, even at full pace, full tilt, playing to the best of their ability, they cannot beat Manchester City. So, yes, Odegaard, of course, would help. He's a quality player. He's one of the very best in the league, probably the best in the league in his position. But unfortunately, as we found out last season, you don't always have your best players available to you, but you're not allowed to use that as an excuse. You can't complain that you don't have your best team. You just have to go out there, and if you get beat, you get beat because you shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Big up Spurs GTTV. Graham's been a member for 7 months, saying smash the likes. Vindaloo, yeah, I completely concur with your point.
What did he say?
This one, that was a red Trossard, but what about Doku kicking the ball? That's the thing. There's no consistency. But...
No, I've got to cut in there, Kate. Doku, right? They took the ball forward, right? Arsenal, right? And the ref pointed for the ball to go back further. So Doku kicked it back to Arsenal because they had to take the free kick further back. So he never kicked the ball away, not at all. You know, I've watched it on 3 different platforms, them talking about it, and he did not kick that ball away. He kicked it back to them to take the free kick further back. So he never kicked the ball away. I'm sorry, Vindaloo. I'm always honest, and if I think you've been hard done by, I'll be the first one to say it. But he never kicked the ball away.
Yeah. What Vindaloo, part of the bus, try not to hit them on the counter at all. You do there's such a thing at trying to get there. Yeah, there is that. I mean, I do think Odegaard is vital for Arsenal. I mean, the sooner they get him back, the better. Big up, Yoris. Hope you're well. Lisa says, I was surprised City didn't try to catch Arsenal on a break like with the Haaland goal since they had a man advantage for a long while. Also surprised City didn't attempt longer shots. Yeah, but I think someone else said City looked their best when Rodri was on. As soon as he went off, it
fell apart, didn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as he went. But then I wonder if he's going to be on the picket line for his little strike. Is he really injured? Is he striking? We just don't know, do we?
No, exactly. Big up, Chris. Hope you're well. City were there for the taking. Arsenal bottled it again. Arsenal made a mistake not signing a target man like Ivan Toney to get him at the pitch or an Osherman. Yeah, I agree, Ben. They haven't got that target man in the front. I completely agree. Phil Coy's been a member for 3 months. Big up, Phil. Says Arsenal fans cry more. You cannot get over the line. Love this. I love it. Daniel saying Vindaloo did not even try to get them on the counter attack at all. In fact, Hughes were just hitting 50-yard Peter Kay punts up the pitch. You had no intention of playing in that second half. It did feel like the Arsenal of old in the sense of they tried to, you know, that when they won the title, just nicking 1-0s. But I just find them so boring this year. But like I say, maybe when Odegaard's back, it'll change. Anthony saying, Jimbo, the same thing happened with Declan Rice. The Brighton player did not kick it in the correct place, but he still got a yellow card.
Yeah, do you know what, Anthony? Right, I was the first one to come on here and scream about that sending off, right? And I'm a Tottenham fan, and I said there was no way in that. As far as I'm concerned, you was absolutely shafted there because that for me weren't a sending off Declan Rice. I just cannot see, and I've watched it on different platforms, you know, with different people talking about it, and I've watched it about 20 times, and I cannot see how they ever sent Declan Rice off for that. And I said it when it happened, Kate, didn't I? And I'll stick to my guns on that now. That was one of the worst sending offs I've ever seen. But yesterday with Doku, he definitely didn't kick the ball away. He kicked it back to Arsenal to take the free kick further back.
AJ, Vindaloo says, do you think if they had their 11, they'd have beat them?
It's a completely different match, isn't it? 11 against 11. You're both going to try to play your football. You're both going to be going for each other. That creates space in behind. We saw how easy Haaland scored. The goal Haaland was so easy. Arsenal just tore apart so easy. 11-11, it's totally different. You're not back to I think Arsenal did well. I think defensively, but we know that's their strength. Arsenal are the best defensive team. They've got great individual defenders, and as a unit, they're impeccable. They really are. But there's only so long that will hold out for against anybody, but against the very best teams, there's only so long that's going to hold out for. And because of their player's mistake, they were forced into that position. Arteta told them to sit back, soak it up, and in the end they got found out. They got punished for it. 11-11, they could possibly have got the win. As soon as Rodri went off, it fell apart for City, and I think Trossard saved City to a degree because, let's face it, Arsenal were playing their way into the game after that initial 16, 17 minutes where City were at it and absolutely on top of them. Arsenal started playing their way into the game. So nobody knows, as you like to say, if, buts, and monkey nuts, right? It's all very well and good to what if, what this might have happened, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen because you have ill-disciplined players. So, get your house in order, get your players understanding the rules of the game, and then once they do, maybe you'll be able to compete with City.
Yeah, like you say, and like my sister says, if sputs and coconuts, we don't know what would have happened if there'd have been 11 versus 11. We don't know what would have happened had Rodri stayed on. We don't know what would happen if Odegaard had played. You can only do what's there and play how the game pans out. But Jim, what was you going to say there?
I was going to say the thing is with 11-11, Arsenal could have pushed forward more, and maybe all right, Steve. Arsenal could have pushed forward more and maybe scored, but then again, maybe City would have got them on the break.
Yeah.
It's a different game, and it would have probably been more enjoyable for a lot of people. Maybe not for Spurs fans and City fans, but you can. It is what it is. That's the way it panned out. That's what we have to accept.
Yeah, big up, Steve. We've got a 1-month-old baby now, 9 months. 10 months. So, yeah, 1-month-old baby in the house. Big up, Steve, being a member for 10 months. Mario says that second half was a demolition job. Let's say it right. Granted, Arsenal defended well, but if that was Spurs and Conte, we'd be muddied. Look, as I said, if we'd have let in that last-minute goal, it would have been Spurs are so Spursy. But the narrative's completely different when it's Arsenal. It does make me laugh. Vindaloo saying it's still pre-season, we're warming up. Remember, after Christmas, we destroyed everything. Yeah, I'm personally terrified. Harmless Potato says it was a sending off, in my opinion. Arsenal players were out of position. Rice was at the corner flag. It was a tactical not to let them take the free kick quickly, and that is a yellow. Yep, completely agree.
I don't think they can argue with the sending off, Kate.
No. Yoris says, I agree about Rice's red, Jimbo. The ball was still moving for starters, which by the letter of the law means it's not a yellow, and I'm a Spurs fan. Yeah, some of the decisions are just unbelievable. We will get onto Vicario in a little while. Ben says you only have to play Man City twice a season. If they be defensively solid for the rest of the teams, they have a very good chance of winning the title. I hear you, Benji. I do hear what you're saying. Bad news, Rodri has sustained a cruciate ligament injury and is expected to be out for the rest of the season. Wow. That's a blow. Not only because I think he is the best player in the league, but I just love watching him as well. But Arsenal must be rubbing their hands together, not because they want to see a player injured, don't get me wrong, but because he's such a key player for City. They don't lose when he's in the team.
As important as Odegaard is for Arsenal, Rodri is just as, if not more important for City.
Yeah, I completely agree. Got Arsenal asking us, does he think his starting 11 would beat City anyway? But yet they get so overhyped saying they're going to win the league this year. And they do this to themselves, Arsenal fans. Yeah, I agree. Destiny says 11 versus 11, a City win. Oh, we've got Sol Campbell in the house. Says Arsenal were leading when it was 11 versus 11. Yeah, but that don't mean it would have stayed that way. Let's be fair.
What does that actually mean, though? Because I'm sure that Arsenal had to play an entire half with 10 men. And as we all know, a game's done at halftime, right? Whoever's winning at halftime wins the match. It doesn't matter. Then the next 45 minutes is of no consequence. So what relevance is that? You didn't win the game because your players can't abide by the rules of the game.
Yeah. Haaland should have seen a yellow for throwing the ball at Gabriel. Personally, I think he should have received some sort of lifetime achievement award because that absolutely creases me. And I keep watching it on repeat because it's so funny. The way he just lobs it at the back of his head is hilarious.
Properly pinged it at his head as well, didn't it?
I know.
It wasn't just a little, here you go, mate. He could have taken his head off.
Ben coming out with a strong statement saying, without Rodri, Arsenal will win the league. Wow. And then Harmless Potato counteracting that without Odegaard, Liverpool win the league. See,
the thing is, Kate, it's all right, Rodri being out and Odegaard being out, right? A month down the line, it could be Saliba out and it could be Haaland out. So, you know, you got to... You can't. I still think City win the league. At the beginning of the season, I was really thinking Arsenal, but after watching Arsenal, I think that the way they're playing, the type of football they're playing, I think they're going to lose more points than they're going to gain from it. I really do.
Anthony Clark, what I would say to this, he says Tottenham fans calling out Arsenal fans for saying we're going to win a league. What were Tottenham fans doing last season? I would say that was a tiny minority, literally a handful.
Yeah, me, I was one. Yeah. I'm not calling Arsenal out for saying they're going to win the league. It's their club. They should say they're going to win the league. If I supported Arsenal, I'd be screaming from the rooftops, we're going to win the league. It's what they should be doing as they're fans of their club. Bloody hell, I would be disappointed if people like Vindaloo, Anthony Clark and Matt and that didn't come in here saying they were going to win the league. I'd think, well, they ain't proper supporters. You say it. You're one of the best teams in the league. You should be shouting from the rooftops you're going to win the league. Who gives a shit what other people think? Support your club.
Yeah, but we will all be praying that you don't win the league. Just saying. So yeah, that was obviously the big game yesterday. Nice lot of controversy. I will just go through the fact that the scores this week. Jimbo ended up with 4 points this week. Yeah, which was pathetic.
Not in my eyes. I think I did well.
Chang and I levelled up with 7 each, probably because we're on the same wavelength so much this week, Chang. And Nick flew in front with 10 points this week, Nicholas.
Okay, so, seeing as I'm representing Nick. Woo-hoo-hoo! Get in!
So the standings are: in third place is Jimbo with 28 points. In joint second is Chang and I with 36. And Nick is in front with 40 points.
That's right. We got this, Nick. We got this.
Yeah, so Nick can be shouting from the rooftops that he's going to win the league now if he wants to, you know. He's perfectly entitled. Yeah, Destiny, you're right. Difference is Arsenal 6 years into a project. And Phil, I agree. The rivalry between Arsenal and City is getting good. You can see there's some real needle. Haaland telling Jesus to fuck off at the end of the game and calling him a clown. I just think Haaland, after this weekend, I'm really starting to like him. He physically abused Gabriel and he told Gabriel Jesus he's a fucking clown. I mean, what's not to like? Haaland for president, just saying. Afternoon, Chrisandra. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Daniel says City have shown before it takes more than one injury to make them fall apart. Yeah, fair enough. Rodri's out, but we've not seen him out for long enough to say City fall apart. Not only that, but they might buy in January. I know they're never going to be as good as Rodri, but you don't know. City always seem to find a way. Yeah, Calafiori just 22, amazing. He's going to be a real talent. Yeah. Exactly, Destiny. That's one of the highlights of the weekend. Gabriel just having a ball smashed into the back of his head just for fun. Sorry, but that Rice red card was wrong. He was walking away. The ball touched his heel and he flicked it away only 2 feet. So it should not have been a yellow. Yeah,
100%.
I said it. Jimbo 100%. Said it. I think we were all. It was very, very dubious. That
not card, dubious, mate. I could honestly say it's probably one of the worst sending offs I've ever seen. Honestly, I thought it was pathetic.
Big up Mark CFC. Good win for Chelsea against West Ham at the weekend. Says busy at work, listening, wanted to say Arsenal fans crying refs against them, but yet Havertz wasn't sent off in 10 seconds. Yeah, Gooners. But yeah, massive result for Chelsea. I thought West Ham would put up a bigger show considering they won the transfer window, but 3 losses in a row now for West Ham. First time ever, I think, in the Premier League, which is quite nice to see as well. Big up Kuva and Angie's number one supporter. Kuva is back in the house. says, been an interesting week. Good job the quad's back on and the hands train is slowly making its way up from the scrapyard. Go on, Coover. We want Happy Kappa Coover back. But yeah, let's go on to Tottenham. Let's just cheer ourselves up. I'm sick of talking about Arsenal. Let's go on to Spurs. 3-1 win against Brentford. Redemption for Johnson after the week he'd had. Solanke off the mark. Madders back to his best. Ange looking happy and spriteful. Chang, could it have been any better? It was a bloody good show.
It could have got a bit better, honestly, if the forward trio of Son, Solanke, and Brennan Johnson had more minutes together as a squad, as a forward front three, because the chances were there. At times we were just robbing the ball off them like taking candy from a kid. The way we were just dispossessing them, winning back position and getting into all sorts of positions to score from all corners of the field. It was as though like the team collectively together as one, as a unit, for the first time this season, they were really playing for each other. That's what I saw on Saturday night here in Southeast Asia when I did the watch along with Senor Garcia and also Mr. Sievers. And if this is to be the benchmark that we are going to set for the remainder of the season, long may it continue. Although, much like any other time that we've just only won a big match by a good margin, I would urge the players to stay humble, not get too carried away. What happened on Saturday is long past. Let's focus on the next match, which will be Karabakh, before we then have a massive away tie against United at Old Trafford this coming Sunday. So yeah, it's a good performance, but the defensive frailties. I know we've been leaky of late, but I don't think anyone in the ground or even watching on the tellies would have expected us to concede within 30 seconds straight from kickoff, and it all came from a Kulusevski giveaway. And this is something that needs to be addressed. The moment the referee blows, the players should be told, you need to switch on, you need to stay alert, don't give away any stupid fouls, don't put any undue pressure onto ourselves. But that's exactly what happened on Saturday. So I am thankful and grateful, however, that we did respond rather quickly without trying to be too cautious or throwing caution to the wind after just only conceding. And Brennan Johnson, what more can I say? The redemption arc for Brennan Johnson is well and truly on. 2 goals in 4 days, back to back. That's as good as it gets for anyone who's been, getting a lot of stick from some fans, so-called fans, that forced him to turn off his social media. So yeah, good to see for Johnson. And by the way, I think I really have to mention this. James Maddison, what a performance! I did say this yesterday with Kuva and Mr. Ian Meff and also Senor Garcia, that now that James Maddison has shown what he's truly capable of on Saturday, I just wish for more consistency from him. It is all fine and well when you are turning up 10 out of 10 for a performance in midfield, but the consistency, I think, is going to be key, and it will really determine where we finish come end of the season. And not just from Maddison, all the players as well. It could be Johnson, it could be Vicario in goal, it could even be Romero in defense. Each and every single one of these players, we need to show more consistency when it comes to putting in great performances, and not just from individuals. And let's not get too carried away by the result. Onwards and upwards against Karabakh.
Yeah, I agree. First, Anthony Clark, do you need some Andrex? I can see you crying your eyeballs out about Maddison not getting sent off last year. I can't believe you're still sulking about it. Can we please just calm down? I know what goes around comes around. We've had shit decisions go against us, and I've called out decisions. I called out Vicarios. I called out Maddison last year. I called out Rice's for being wrong. But let's not cry about it 12 months on. Calm yourself. Just calm yourself down. Go and have a cup of tea. I was going to call you Arteta then, AJ. Sorry, I apologise.
What?
I know. It's because I saw that, and it made me think of that horrible little weasel. But you're nothing like him. You're more like Anthony Joshua. They knocked you down, but they couldn't keep you down. You got yourself back up.
Flat silly. Yeah, wonderful.
Well, you share the name. That's the AJ. That's all I can say. But what did you make of Spurs at the weekend, AJ?
Can I just jump in there and just
here we go.
AJ,
Here we go. Go on, Jim.
No, AJ, I said to Kate, we was in the car driving back from London, from Lincoln, and I said to Kate, "Oh my God, AJ was so bad. I just can't believe how bad he was." And she went, "Why? Well, he hasn't done nothing wrong." She thought I was talking about you.
Yeah, I did. Too many AJs.
I said, "No, the boxer, you silly mare."
Yeah, that is true. But anyway, AJ, what did you think of Spurs?
I thought it was a really, really, really good performance. I'm not going to go crazy and say, "Oh, we're back. It was amazing. The best thing I've ever seen." I do disagree with Ben entirely. It's not one good performance in 5, with the exception of Coventry, which was not acceptable by any standard, regardless of whether it's your second string, third string team. Not acceptable. With the exception of that, we have outplayed, better possession, more touches in the opponent's penalty area. The progressive play has been very, very good all season. The results haven't been. Let's not misconstrue results with performance, right? The results, we got beat by Arsenal by 1 goal, set piece, which, funnily enough, hang on a minute, City got beat by a set piece from Arsenal. City have faced 15 or 16 corners this season and conceded, and Spurs have faced 31 corners and conceded 1. But we're terrible from set pieces, especially corners, and City are champions. City doesn't quite add up, does it? You will find error wherever you're looking for it, right? If you're looking for shit, you will find shit. If you're looking for greatness, you'll find greatness. We have had decent performances. This was our best performance. Ange gets a lot of criticism. Let's not talk about the players for now. Let's talk about Ange. Ange gets a lot of criticism. He's shit, hasn't got a clue, he's a clown. A 12-year-old could outcoach him, doesn't know what he's doing, out of his depth. All these wonderful, wonderful words used to describe him by people that have never managed a football club in their life, but could do a better job. All these people that know more, but who are you managing? And this isn't targeted at anybody specifically. This is in general. This is just what I hear. Now, yes, if we have designs on winning and competing, we need to be doing better results-wise than we are. But the performances are there. The stats back that up. He tweaked a lot in this performance. The fullbacks weren't so inverted. If you look at the heat maps, they were on the outside a lot. This allowed Son, who I initially said, "Oh, I wasn't impressed by Son." I watched the game back. Actually, he created 2 big chances. He got 2 assists from that. He was in a dangerous area, yes. Son from last season before, in that position where you play the ball through to him and he's bearing down on goal, he is going to score at least one of those. You know that, possibly both of them. He didn't. But he was effective in other areas. He did contribute to the team, as all the players did. Maddison was exceptional. That is the Maddison performance that we have been screaming for since halfway through last season. He has played well in some games, more often than not he hasn't. But that is what he is capable of when he is at full tilt. And everything we did good came through him. Receiving the ball when you drop deep, turning and driving forwards, driving with determination, commitment, playing people in. Like his distribution was very good. His drive was very good. He dictated the play. He was my man of the match. Son was very good. Bentancur, what did he do when he won the ball? Passed it on straight away. Got the ball, passed it. Go on, go Maddison, go and create. Go on Kulu, go and create. Get it out wide. Get the ball up the pitch. Faster, slicker, quicker, more incisive passing. We got the ball up to the end of the pitch where we could cause damage, and time after time after time after time we did. We did exactly that. People have said about Solanke, "Oh, it was only a tap in." I wasn't aware you got more points for a 30-yard bar sprint to the top corner. I thought that if you scored a goal and you won the match, that it all counted the same. It was all 3 points and you went on to your next match, but apparently not. Solanke is key in that press. He presses like Son can't, like Kulu can't, like Ivan Toney could never. He presses, the way he plays, his attributes are key to the way we press. And look how well we have pressed this season. I do believe the stats back up that we're one of the very best in Europe at pressing. We're recovering the ball in about five passes. We're recovering the ball. That's all because of the tactics, the style, and the personnel we have on the pitch. So overall, very good performance from the players. I'll get to Brennan Johnson in a minute. And from Ange, tweaking, playing players in their preferred position. His style is starting to bear fruit, especially in this last match. Let's hope that this is a sign of things to come, and we can build on this. But Brennan Johnson, that lad, I agree and I believe that if a player is playing badly, if a player is playing terribly, you should be able to, as a fan of the club, as somebody who wants to see your club achieve things and succeed, whether you're going to matches, buying merchandise, buying subscriptions on television so you can see, regardless, if you are a fan, if the players are not pulling their weight and not putting in the performances that are the standard you have for the club, then you have every right to criticise. What you don't have the right to do, what you never have the right to do under any circumstances, make it personal. And he has undergone some horrific abuse, and the way he answers that is to get on the pitch and score 2 crucial goals, to want the ball in the areas that we can hurt teams, where if he messes up, people are going to be on his case. He wants the ball, and he has scored 2 very good, very crucial goals. That takes a hell of a lot, right? That shows who he is as a person. Is he and his footballing ability at the level I think Spurs need? I don't think so, but I'm willing to give him time to see. I don't think he is at the level we want to be at, like we expect if we're going to be competing. But that's just my opinion, and I'm not an expert. I know no more than most of the fans in our fan base. So it's just what I think. If he shuts me up and goes, there you go, there's another 15, 16, 17 GA a season, have that. That's back to that. Well done, mate. Well done. Thank you. But my personal belief on whether or not he is good enough to play for Spurs gives me no right to criticise him personally. And when he then answers back to these people that have been, I'm not going to call them fans, because if you're doing that to a player, you're not a fan. When his answer back to them are 2 crucial, important goals that help us go on and win matches, you can't ask for more than that. So well done, Brennan Johnson. The plaudits you've received in the last 2 games are thoroughly deserved. Long may it continue. Long may you keep contributing. And if you are one of these disgusting parasites that think it's acceptable to abuse anybody, footballer, anybody, personally, because you don't like what they've done in a sport, maybe watching competitive sports is just not for you.
Yep, I completely agree with what you say. Jimbo?
Oh, I got fucking lost with that halfway through. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got a bit lost, AJ. Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right. I understand.
But Jimbo, what's your thoughts on the match?
I thought we played really well. I'm not going to find any criticisms because we've been. I think we've played well this season. I don't think we've played bad apart from the Coventry game. I think we haven't got what we deserved, but that's football. You can't complain about that because it happens. There will be games that we win that we probably shouldn't win, right? So I don't think we've had a bad performance in the league. I know a lot of people think we have, but I don't think we have. And yesterday we got what we've been working towards, you know, the way we've been playing, and it worked out yesterday. And I mean, I suppose I could criticise we should have scored more, but it's football. You're not going to you're not going to score every chance you get. You know, sometimes you win 5-0, 6-0, they go in for you, but it's not going to happen every game, especially with a team like we've got, where they're still in a transition period, right? It's only been a season. It takes a while to get everything in and get the philosophy in and get the players all working how he wants them to play. It's not enough. That's something that happens. You play 3 games and it happens. It takes a while. And yesterday is exactly how he wants them to play, and they played like that. And Saturday, and it was just, for me, it was. I knew it was going to come, Kate. I did say to you, and I said it on your stream, I was never worried, and I will always back my team, and I will always back them even more when I can see what they're trying to do, and I could see from the first 4 league games that it's going to work out. It just will work out. And we saw Saturday what they're trying to do, and it all come together, and we played well. And the most impressive thing for me, right? This is what I was most impressed with, was they scored in the first 20-25 seconds. Which, look, you know, I sat back and when they scored, I said to Kate, I'm not worried, not one bit. I said that to you, Kate, right? I said it's a fantastic goal. There's not many teams that would have saved that, right? It was just a go off the planet, and it happens, and it's part of football, and it's actually a part of football. I said this to you, Kate, that I really love about football. You know, you cannot take anything away from them for that goal. It was just a beautiful goal, and he took it so well. And you could have stuck 4 goalkeepers in, and they wouldn't have saved it. I wasn't worried one bit. We come back and showed them what we can do, and I just loved it. I just loved sitting back watching the football. I will admit at 2-1, I was starting to think, oh shit, we need another one. I kept saying to you, Kate, didn't I? We need another goal just to put it to bed. And it was just, I knew it was coming, and I was confident that performance was coming, and it come, and we saw it, and I loved it, and yeah, it turned me on.
I mean, don't take much, to be fair, but if anyone remembers during the summer transfer window, I was saying, I can't believe no one's gone in for Mbeumo. I wish we'd go in for Mbeumo. What a player, what a goal, absolutely sensational goal. But look, I thought it was a brilliant game. I actually got a very warm, fuzzy feeling in my tummy when Johnson scored.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him. I love the fact that Sonny, you can see, has really taken him under his wing, and he's kind of protecting him. Yeah, and the shushing, it was like, you shut up, away fans. Tottenham fans that don't believe in me, you shut up. Trolls, you shut up. It was just brilliant. I absolutely am delighted for him, and I hope this starts off what could be a really good season for him. Solanke, you know, I agree with AJ. Don't matter if it's a tap-in or if it's a 30-yard screamer. It all means the same thing. And at the end of the day, if it had been Richarlison and he'd have had that tap-in, he'd probably put it wide. Kate, you know, let's be fair.
The thing is, right, that's Solanke's job. His job's to hold the ball up and put it in the net, right? When Kane got a tap in, we used to always say, "Oh my God, the man's in the right place at the right time." So his job's to hold the ball up, let other people bring other people into play, and put the ball in the net. And they're the ones you want him to score the tap-ins, because there was a few times in the last 4 league games where there was chances for us to score, but people weren't in the right position. Right. So imagine Solanke wasn't there, and they cleared the ball. We'd be going, well, why weren't one of the players there? So it's his job to be there and do that, and that's exactly what he done. And I praise him for it, because he was in the right place.
And it's shushing the home fans as well. That's what I mean. It was brilliant. And of course, Maddison, absolute class. Made me giggle that his mum rang him immediately after he scored and told him off because he cost her points in her fantasy team by getting booked, which I think is brilliant. And to be fair, it was a stupid thing to do, but I think he wanted to get the monkey off his back and just sort of say, wow, I've scored this season, everyone back off, I'm trying. And I don't think his performances have been bad so far this season, but I think that was the best performance of the season from him, and he rightly won man of the match. But we can't talk about Spurs without going on about Vicario. clearly, in my eyes, handling the ball outside of the area, which, from what I'm gathering, first of all, it wouldn't have been a red. They're saying it would have been a yellow. However, I have to give my props to Thomas Frank, who I thought did a marvellous after match interview and didn't even mention it. Didn't try and blame anything on it. He just said, Spurs played brilliant. They were the better team. A real class interview from the manager. But Jimbo, Vicario, how on earth did he get away with that?
Right, first, before we talk about Vicario, I just want to say, because someone mentioned Smithy.
Sorry, Smithy, but I was just making a point that chances are Richarlison would have missed that. But anyway, go on. Sorry, Jim.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think he would have scored it. But I want to say Basuma on a yellow card for our third goal, he done an absolute, to me, that was a fantastic tackle for us to go up and score our third goal. And he was on a yellow card. So that was a real, you got to give him credit there. That was a fantastic tackle he done for us to go up. Right, Vicario, right? Look, there's been goalkeepers over the years that are a bit out there, and I think he's one of these keepers that are a bit out there. He when he was running across the goal with the ball, first of all, Van der Ven shouldn't have really passed back to him because there was two players near him, right? So it was a bit, and it put him under a little bit of pressure, and he was too slow to clear it. But the thing is they got the ball off him, and they shot, and he saved it, right? So he redeemed himself. I don't know. There's something. I just love the guy. I do, Kate. He is a bit wacky, but he keeps us in games so many times. When it was 2-1, and that banging header they done, that looked like it was going to go in the bottom corner, and he got down and
I hear you, Jim. I know he's a good keeper, but I'm not talking about that. I want to know how he got away with that.
Well, he's just lucky. It's just luck, Kate. It was luck because, look, he wouldn't have got sent off. He'd have got a yellow card. But look what Thomas Frank said. Because they said to him, do you feel hard done by about the handball? And he said, what? He said, well, one free kick outside the area is going to change the whole game. He went, no, not at all. So, yeah, he's a wacky keeper, Kate, but he's a good keeper. He is. He just needs to iron a few things out of his game. I mean, look at Bruce Grobbelaar. You remember Bruce Grobbelaar? He was the same sort of keeper. He was as nutty as a fruitcake. But how many times he kept Liverpool in games?
To be fair to Bruce Grobbelaar, Vicario's not on his level yet. But I get the comparison with the recklessness, and he was always liable to do something stupid.
But also pull off world class saves, and that's what Vicario does. He does keep us in games sometimes. So, but look, it's a part of football that I quite like. The when you've got a player in your team like that, as long as he doesn't make too many mistakes and cost us. But it was never a red card. And as Thomas Frank said, one free kick outside the area isn't going to change a game. So move on from it, you know. And I mean, I love the keeper. I really do. I like him a lot.
Chang, I mean, I was watching it going, but that's it. He's off, you know, because I always think the worst. But I mean, they didn't even VAR it, by all accounts. What do you think? A lot of people are saying it would have been a red. I know Terry at the Football Terrace said it should have been a red, but a lot of people are saying it would have been a yellow. I'm not sure.
I think a yellow was more than deserved for him, but I think this all goes back to consistency in VAR reviews and the officiating and the on-field refereeing decisions. I mean, when something as clear and as blatant as that happens, and it's not that it wasn't replayed, it was replayed multiple times from different angles. And I think the most telling angle was behind the goal. From behind the goal, when there was absolutely no one in front of him to obstruct the view, you could quite clearly see him handling it with both his feet planted outside the penalty box. And why VAR wasn't calling the referee over to have him take a look at that, I think I don't want to go in speculate why that happened, but there has to be some sort of consistency with that. I mean, imagine if this was a week ago when we were still tied at 0-0 towards the very end of the North London derby, and David Raya does something like this and it would present us a free kick so close to the goal mouth right outside the penalty box in the dying embers of the game, and we have that glorious opportunity to win the game, we will be up in arms with this sort of decision. So I'm not going to speak too much of Vicario's handling, because I think he more than made up for it with a few fantastic saves that kept us in the game when we were still 2-1 up. But the only gripe I have is the officiating. That's the only thing that there has to be some consistency. And even if VAR is there, then why aren't the officials using it? I mean, this just raises more questions than giving us answers with the officiating by the FA.
Yeah, I mean, look, what annoys me is when I went on the fan reaction, they were going, Spurs are cheats. Look, even if he handled it outside the box and he didn't get a card, that's not our fault. That's the referee's fault. You know, what are we supposed to do? Stop and go, oh, hang on, no, book me, send me off. I'm sure every team would do that. I mean, AJ, what's your thoughts on it?
First, I just want to say I agree with Jim in regards to Basuma. When he first got on and he just flattered him and got a yellow straight away, I was like, oh, dude, this player's not going to see the full second half. He's going to get sent off. But that sliding tackle to dispossess Brentford, for Romero to run onto and then play Sonny through, and then obviously in the end it results in Madison, a nice little delicate chip over the keeper. What a challenge that was! If he doesn't make that challenge, they're in on goal, and we don't know what would have happened. Would it have been a save? Would he have shot wide? Would it have been a goal? You don't know. But he made a brilliant tackle, considering he was already on yellow. Great, and then that obviously sets us on for the third goal. But in regards to Vicario, he's a fantastic shot stopper. Some of the saves he made in that game, none more notable than that claw off the line from that header where he was the other side of the goal. That was an excellent save. If it was David Raya making that save, we'd be hearing on all these different channels about how this world-class keeper made such a world-class save. Let's give him a parade. But Vicario does it, and it was a good save. I think it was exceptional. That does not make up for stupid mistakes. Van der Ven passed him the ball. Should Van der Ven have passed him the ball in that position? Well, the thing is, he had time. All he had to do is realise as a professional footballer, I've got the ball, I've got no pass on, whack, get the ball down the other. Regardless of what you've been trained to do and how the manager likes to play out, you've received the ball, and a lot of players end up receiving the ball in positions they're not comfortable with. All he needed to do was get the ball out of his feet and then hit it long. He didn't. He took one touch and then another touch and then another touch, and then he had two players down on him, and it almost cost us a goal. It didn't, but it almost did. The handball outside of the area, once he is outside of the area, if it is not a direct goal scoring opportunity, it's exactly the same as any player touching the ball with their hand. It's not an instant red. He's out of the box. He's not denying a goal scoring opportunity. It's a yellow card. The referee was staring straight at it. If I remember the angle correctly, the referee was staring straight at it and did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. So that's the referee's job, is to make calls based on what he sees. If he hasn't given that, we don't know why he's not given it. But if a player makes a mistake and the ref calls you on it and you get punished, whether it's a yellow or a red, then you've got no complaints, right? It's the referee's decision. It's his job to make those calls. It's not the players. Oh God, no, I did study him. I should be sent off. I hold my hands up to that. That's not how it works. The officials make the decisions. For whatever reason, staring straight at it, the referee chose not to. And I can't believe for 1 second that he didn't see it, because we all saw it. Everybody saw it. I have no answer for why there was no card, why Brentford didn't get a free kick. I don't have the answer for that. Should it have been a yellow card and a free kick? Absolutely, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, you can't do anything about it. So you just have to move on.
Yeah, agreed. Good morning to Lisa Chica, who's listening on her drive in. Hope you're well. Rinketic says, would it be better if the ref had a camera on him so we could see from his perspective? Do you know what? I don't give a shit, really, if the ref's got a camera on him or not. I just want there to be consistency in their decisions. I think too much is circling. What's the word? Too much is revolving around the refs. The whole point of VAR was so we wouldn't constantly be talking about decisions, and that's all we ever talk about. So I don't know. Rodney's saying he wouldn't swap Vicario for anyone. I like it. I like the optimism and the loyalty there. I'm not sure I agree.
I love Vicario, okay? I love him.
I like him, but I'm not saying I wouldn't swap him for someone like David Raya. Just going to say that. We have to buy a captain in January. We are rudderless, and these stupid errors are going to keep happening without a boss, says Ben, always being the ER, even when we have a 3-1 win. Brian Maguire says, why are there no rules for corners as the Man City keeper was blocked from coming out, which is what happened to us last season? Listen, I agree with that. I think there's no, I mean, Chang, what's your thoughts on the corners? There seems to be no protection for the keepers at all anymore.
Okay, there are two ways of looking at this, whereby the protection for the keepers, or rather the lack of protection that they're getting, could be a direct result of far too many fake calls or rather play acting in the box by the defending team who are defending corners. They go down too easily. They throw their arms up like they've been just hit by a bus, and all this play acting that has prompted the officials to come down hard on this sort of officiating, and on this sort of play acting. And this has, I think, resulted in why goalkeepers, even defenders, or even the defending players for that matter, why they're not given this sort of protection. Because when you are in such a congested area, that penalty box, waiting for the ball to be floated in, there will be contact, whether it's sufficient enough to cause someone to fall over or to tumble backwards or to even be impaired. I think that's very subjective. But what this all boils down to is that in order to cut this down, well, certain measures have been taken. And if that means giving the attacking team leeway, in the sense that if it's not very obvious, if it's not noticeable in real time or even in the replays, then benefit of the doubt would be given to the team that's taking the corner and attacking the goal. So yeah, this is something that should be looked at again. Review some leniency that they give to players, and also how referees allow play to go on. But I do agree that this is affecting teams where they are so used to just getting away with play acting and just faking fouls in the box just so they can get away with it. But yeah, this is something that needs to be looked at before this thing even turns farcical to the point where it's almost okay to just shove and push to win a ball, regardless of the drawbacks that may happen in the long term, for not only for the FA but for the game as overall.
Yeah, I agree. Jimbo, two things. First of all, where did you get those sweets from?
My brother-in-law gave them to me.
Right. Second of all, you're diabetic. Put the sweets down and walk away immediately.
They're nice, though.
Well, you're not having any more. Behave yourself. I was going to say something now. Now I've told you off. I've kind of forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Am I the only one who thinks Romero needs to speed his gameplay up?
Yeah.
He ponders on the ball. Go on then, Jimbo. I'll let you take that one.
I've been saying this to you for a long time, Kate, that he ponders on the ball too much for me. He's like, he gets the ball and he's looking round and kicks it forward a foot, then looks around. Too slow. I've been saying this to you for a long time, Kate. I agree with Guy 100%. He needs to speed himself up a bit.
Yeah, Ben, you're right. I do just want the sweets for myself. You're absolutely right. Ben says, very happy for Johnson. More of that, please. I am delighted that Ange finally saw the light and stopped inverting the fullbacks. AJ, did you see a definite change with the fullbacks? I've got to be honest to say, I didn't notice that much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but go on.
Definitely. Yes, I kind of touched upon that earlier. he made a few tweaks. Like the wingers weren't. If you looked at Johnson and Son, their overall position under Ange would usually be out chalk on their boots, allowing your fullbacks inside. They were much closer to Solanke, which made the press so much more effective. The Porro and Udogie drifted inwards, but it wasn't as rigid as it always has been. So there were tweaks to that, and we always had at least 3 people back, sometimes 4. And I think also the possession. If you look at Brentford, they average, I think, before they played us, it was like 42% possession in their games. They played us, they had 52%. I believe that was by design. I believe that we are much more effective and you utilize people like Johnson better. Johnson isn't a winger. He's an inside forward. If you're asking him to stand out wide and drive at a player and beat them, that's not his skill set. That's not why we signed him. But under Ange's tactics and the system, he's being utilised in that position, and it's not really worked for him. When he is at his best is late in the game, when the game's stretched and he's got that space to make those run in behind. When he's slightly more inside than being stuck out to pasture on the wing. So there were definite tactical tweaks that were made which benefited us and allowed us to have less possession, but much more control over the game, much more sustained control over the game. And, I like that. And it might have taken just over a season for him to be making and implementing these changes. But it's clear that they're there. It's clear that it happens. So let's hope that this is an indication of things to come. And it kind of then puts pay to, he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't adapt. He's out of his depth, right? If he has adapted and his adaptations helped us win the game comfortably in the end 3-1. And it could have been much more than that. We created so many clear-cut chances, and their keeper did well. He was in the right place at the right time. Their defenders were throwing their bodies at the ball. We could have ended up 4, 5, 6 up by the end of the game. So, yes, there were definite tweaks made. I'm happy about that. It's one less stick to beat the manager with. He's just now got to take that into his next game, and then the next one, and then the next one, and adapt depending on who we are against.
Yeah, I mean, Cassandro says he hasn't stopped inverting them, but they just went outside while the wingers stayed inside. But there was definitely a tweak of some sort. Yeah. I mean, who on earth would doubt this manager? Who would have said he can't adapt? Who would have said he would be out of his depth? Who would be flip-flopping like that? Not me. I've been Angeing from day one, kind of. I haven't had any doubts, really. But anyway, today I'm fully Angeing. It's all gone out the window. All my doubts have dissipated after the weekend. Until next time. Destiny says... Jim is well trained. Kate didn't need to ask twice. Bloody right. He knows. Lisa says, do you think Ange's slight tweaks with the fullback and even Johnson's positions, he will keep allowing them to do that? Please, I hope so. We are definitely better both on the attack and defensively. Well, you would like to think that the fact that it's worked, he will keep it as it is while it works. That's what I would like to think. He will and will keep getting better. He will reach a high level, but I don't expect him to be Gareth Bale. I'm not sure who you're talking about. You talking about Johnson?
Yeah. Okay. He's talking about Johnson.
Typical Kate, you can't even commit to the flip-flop. You're no fan. I flip-flop all over the place, Coos. I'm not ashamed. But I never doubted Ange for a second. Honest. That wasn't me. That was my twin.
You do realize, Miss Kate, that when you were reading out this message, the last part, you are no fan. You do realize you subconsciously took a fan out, right?
I know. I've just realised that because I realised I'm hot and my fan's not on full. The wing backs were inverting, but they're not out of position. Yeah, whatever he was doing, it was good. Anthony Clark still crying. I hope he's got his tissues. Says the fact of the matter is, you Tottenham fans are all salty because you thought you was going to be 8 points behind Man City after the City game, but it never happened. Well, I never thought that, but keep crying. Keep crying. The poor Barcelona keeper has had a complete rupture of the patella tendon and will be out for 7 to 8 months, which is awful. Mark ter Stegen, however you say it. I completely agree with Destiny, who says Thomas Frank took it all on the chin. He is a class man and manager. Yep, absolutely. I think Vindaloo might be being a bit sarcastic here when I saw that Brentford game, I was like, wow, Tottenham are a proper team. Could see what Ange's trying to do, and I think you'll be challenging for sure. You do know that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, Vindaloo, just saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's going to come back and bite him right on the arse because we are a proper team and we will end up challenging. So if he means that sarcastically, that will come and bite you back on the arse, Vindaloo.
Yeah, exactly. Good question here from Rodders. Why do we not shoot outside the box no more? That's a very good question. Jim, any idea? Chang, whoever wants to take it.
I think we will start to see him shoot from outside the box more, Kate. I think because I just think they will. I'm so pumped with Tottenham this season, and I don't care what anybody says about the first 4 games. I think we've been a good team, and we've had a little bit of bad luck, a bit of bad play where not putting the ball in the net, a few defensive errors, but on the whole, right, looking at the whole picture of it, I think we've been a decent team, and I think that it's going to start to click, and you can't after 4 games of the season. If we'd have been like the Coventry game for the first 4 games, I would understand the meltdown and the people saying sack Ange and do this and do that. But when you really watch the games and you see that we haven't played bad at all, right? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I think that you're going to start seeing slowly this team get better and better and better as the season goes along. I really do.
I did say to you, Jimbo, that they didn't look like a team that weren't playing for their manager.
Yeah.
But I am confused as to why the only person that shoots from outside the box is Papa Matassar. No one else does it.
Look, it's been 4 games in, right? I said to you, can't go over 4 games. You've got to give them a bit longer and give them time to bed in this season. And as I said to you 1,000 times, we haven't played bad this season. We just haven't had a few things go our way, a few errors from the forwards not putting it in the back of the net, a few errors from defence that have let the ball in, right? But overall, we've been decent this season, And I yesterday, it all fell together. We could have won by more, but we didn't. But who cares? We won 3-1. And I think you'll see this team get better and better as the season goes on. I really do.
Yep. Guy Dunn put the stats in. I did see these stats. We're sat in 10th, but average possession 63.2%. First on crosses, first on passes into the penalty area, first on shots on target, first on touches. And they say we haven't improved. I mean,
exactly, Guy. Exactly.
Chang, we've
that's
got
exactly.
to take
Oh, sorry.
No, go on, AJ. You say your bit. Go on.
No, I was just going to say that's what I've been saying to various people. The stats back up the fact that we have improved. We are a threat. We are a danger. The fact that we, for whatever reason, whether the strikers have fluffed their lines, our attackers have fluffed their lines, or the goalkeepers we face have made amazing saves, or the defenders have thrown themselves at the ball. Regardless, we are putting ourselves in a position to create the opportunities. If we had scored from more of them, we win all the games. We're sitting top or second or third in the table, and everyone's then like, oh, we've had a really great start. But because the chances weren't converted, you've got to make the chances. The first thing is to create the chances, right? Then you've got to take them. We're creating them. The stats aren't lying, as we keep getting told. The stats prove facts, right? It's not opinion, it's facts. The stats back up that there's progression. So we just need things to start falling our way. We need to start converting these chances. It's not doom and gloom. The sky isn't falling. Like, the end is not nigh. We're doing things right. We're going in the right direction. Yes, there are mistakes. There are frailties. That will always be the case, regardless of who you are. But there is progression, and that is the very least you can ask for as a fan, progression. We are progressing, so long may it continue.
Yeah, do you know what, AJ? Just while Kate's talking.
Sorry, Jim. Can I just say these little circles are great. When there's lots of us, it look like the Brady Bunch. But go on, carry on.
I was going to say, I'm glad Guy put the stats in, right? Because I'm not a stats person. I don't go and look at the stats. I take by what I see, and I've seen that we've been good this season, right? And I've seen that we've improved, and I've got so much faith in this manager to get it right. I really have, and I will not waver from that. And me and United Spurs of America, Jacob, we both said that there's a player in Johnson, and I have to admit I did get a little bit worried with him. I don't think there's a player in there. I always thought there's a player in there. I think it was his confidence. He always looked like he was a rabbit in the headlight. But on against Coventry, when he come on and Saturday, he looked like a player that's like, F you, I'm going to show you what I can do. He seems to have grown up a bit. That there maybe what Jacob said was true, that abuse he got, maybe that, spurred him to think, I'm going to show these people that I can play football. Because you've got to remember, right, he is a young lad. People saying 23, he's not a kid. Yeah, he is a kid. At 23,
yeah, he is.
You're on the curse of becoming a man. You're still at 23 for me. There's still a lot to learn in life. So and he's probably been sheltered quite a bit. You can see that he's a really nice lad, and he's obviously had a really good upbringing. So he's probably been sheltered a bit, and it's a big eye opener for him coming to a stadium like Tottenham Stadium. All them people there, and I'm just so happy for him. I really, really am, because I want him to do so well for us. I really, really do, and I think that game Saturday was just absolutely phenomenal from him, and he's got my back in 1,000,000%.
Yeah, Chang, I'm going to throw this one to you. Just interesting what Phil P said, talking about Arsenal more than anything. Do you think these anti-football sides are killing the game? This has been a question that's been asked for a lot of years, really, but we've seen it come up again this weekend. What's your thoughts?
Can I just ask the question before he answers? What do you mean anti-football sides?
Well, the ones that just defend and play the low block and try and don't really play football, sit back and try and get them on the counter, that sort of thing.
Okay, I think the best way to answer this question is to ask, I think, the only question that matters in football, or rather the thing that a lot of fans try to beat us with, which is winning things, trophies, silverware, the lots. Will history remember anti-football sides or trophies and silverwares and accolades and things like this? If anti-football, or however you want to go about putting it, negative tactics, winning dirty, parking the bus and scoring only from counter attacks. That's what Mourinho does. That's how he made his name. That's how he wins. And that it wasn't just him. I think the Italian side of the 80s and even the 90s, they won World Cups, they won European championships because of that. And they were known as a very defensive nation. But if it wins, so that's being part of that. That's just part of the game. That's just playing the game. So as long as you don't resort to dirty tactics, as long as you don't resort to things like fouling or injuring opposition players, or getting under the home fans' nerves and causing riots and things like this, if it's part and parcel of the game, if you're not breaking the laws, if you're not breaking any rules, I don't see what's wrong with it. Of course, there is a caveat in this. There is a caveat in which it is not attractive on the eye. Granted, but if it gets the job done, who's to say that there's anything wrong in deploying this sort of anti-football tactics or negative tactics? Me personally, I don't have an issue with it. But if it comes to a point where players or even coaching staff, for example, and this is just an example, say Alex Ferguson back in the day, when he would get in the faces of officials, whether it's before the match, at halftime, at full time, whatever. And after some time, or after a few years or seasons, then he gets Fergie time, as they call it back in the day, then that is a negative effect from, say, trying to impose yourself. But other than that, if it's well within the laws of the game, I don't see anything that's wrong with this anti-football thing.
Yeah, do you know what? I do agree, and I agree with what Phil said as well, that watching a really good defensive display sometimes it's kind of like when you watch something like snooker and you see them play safe. You respect that the skill. I mean, Arsenal's defense is incredible. I don't think anyone can argue that. I do want to give a quick shout out to Kulusevski, who I've always been very critical of. And the last time I spoke about him, I said, look, I think there's a place in this squad for him. We've just got to find where it is. And I think we've found it. I mean, there he is. AJ, this guy in a 10 in the middle, he's different. He's different gravy now.
For me, first of all, I just want to say I don't like the term anti-football. You make the best. You give the best with what you've got, and some sides don't have the finances to buy these players that are going to be racking up 20, 30 goals a season. You go with what you've got. That implies anti-football implies that there's only one way to play the game. If that was true, there'd only be one formation, one managerial style. There isn't. For all the leagues in all of the lands, you've got managers that approach games differently, majorly differently, or just slight tweaks, different setups, different formations. You do what you can do with what you've got. If it's pleasing on the eye, that's great. We love football, don't we? We love seeing our teams play attractive, wonderful football. That isn't always the case. Every team at some point has had their backs to the wall, defending dirty, like doing whatever they've got to do. As long as it's within the remit of the laws of the game, what are we complaining about? It's down to you. If you've got a team full of superstars, it's down to you to create the opportunities to score the goals to win the match. It's not down to your opponents to play your way and give you an easy ride. So I don't like that. I don't like that terminology. I don't agree with it. But Decky, I love the guy. I think he's a quality player. For me, he's been our best player so far this season. His contributions with the ball, without the ball, he just in the centre, whether it's deployed as a false 9, which he's done and he's been decent at, whether it's a 10 or whether it's the hybrid 6/8 that's getting around the pitch and breaking up play. I think Decky is a very, very, very good player, and I'm glad that we found a position for him to show his attributes, to put him in front of people and say this is what this player is capable of, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I completely agree. Big up Angus says, afternoon all. So proud of my team. Oh yeah, be proud, because they really made City uncomfortable at their house. Very proud. They won the very proud trophy. They fought till the end. Well, not quite, because they let in a last minute goal. Should have won the game. Debatable. And Leo, you dumbass. Yeah, I agree with that. But big up Angus. Yeah, they won, according to Piers Morgan, they won the moral victory trophy as well. So congratulations, Arsenal. Trophies all over the place. I didn't know they could win so many in one game, but there you go. Big up Paddy says, afternoon, folks. Hope you had a nice weekend. Thursday is a big game, but I feel we're turning game by game for the better. Winning is a good habit to have. Amen to that. Big up Bobby K as well. Daniel saying, fair play, Angus. At least you're holding Trossard to blame, unlike other fans. Yeah. Bobby K, good morning, Paddy. You rainbow chasing super wanker. Love it. Coover saying, bollocks to Arsenal. We drew 3-3 there, playing with 4 fullbacks and no central defenders. Yeah.
100%. 100%, Coover.
We won the proud of our team trophy there as well. Kate, if you played City, they would destroy you. Angus, I think you need to go and have a look through the last few times we've played them, darling. I think you do.
I think he might still. I mean, sorry, Miss Kate. I just need to quickly add something that what Mr. Angus here. I think he is still a bit bitter, maybe, of how we purposely threw that second last game of the season last season. So that might be what he's alluding to. But I mean, I could be wrong. I couldn't know any better. But if I had to guess, maybe he's referring to the last time he lost to City.
Yes, Angus, it's true. The more you say, the more she does get pleased. I love it. I love the fact, you know what my favourite thing of all is? I love the fact that Eagle and fans like that, when we say, sort of, we celebrate getting a draw at City and they go, oh yeah, congratulations, you really pushed Man City. And then Eagle's on there last night. Oh, I'm so proud of my team. We went to their home and we made them uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sure they're so upset that they were uncomfortable, Eagle. Congratulations. Oh dear, honestly. And yes, Kuvi, you're right. We have taken more points off City than anyone else. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. We get a trophy for that and all. But the last thing I just want to say before we finish the show is now Thursday, massive game. And then, of course, we've got Manchester United at Old Trafford. Jimbo, surely this is the thing now. Consistency is key.
I wanted to say about the low blog. You didn't ask me. Well, I was actually talking to Amelia because she's just got in from work.
Oh, so, good.
I think it kills the game. I hate it. So I don't need to say a lot on it. I detest it. She's laughing at Amelia now.
She just went, I'm so tired. Jimbo, anyway, consistency is key, surely, from now on.
Yeah, of course it is. But we haven't been inconsistent anyway, Kate. We just, I've said it 1,000 times. A few individual errors here and there has cost us, and not, I suppose you could call it inconsistency, not putting the ball in the back of the net. But, you know, it's 4 games in. Let's not all have meltdowns. A good win Saturday and move on to Thursday. Yeah. So it is about being consistent now. Now we've got to move on to Thursday and play the same sort of football again and take it from there and then beat Man United at the weekend, which I am 100% confident we will.
Sorry, my niece had a trial at a new job today. Working in a nursery, and she was there from 10 till 1, and she's absolutely knackered. The little people had her running around like a loon. Bless her. But everyone's saying morning to you. Mr. Chang, obviously we've got carrier bag on Thursday, and then we've got Old Trafford. For these Ange doubters, and also for all of us, really, we need to see a run of good performances and some wins, surely.
Okay, and this is why I feel the fan base needs to temper their expectations and not get too carried away by one victory at home against Brentford. Yes, it was a much-needed morale-boosting win, but I think the sterner tests are yet to be, faced by Big Ange and our young lads. And I think the big test will come on Sunday. What time is it? I think it's 5:30 p.m.
4:30, I think.
Yep, correct, 4:30. But looking ahead now against Karabakh, the historical significance of Spurs versus Karabakh was 9 years ago. 9 years ago, in the first round of the Europa League that we participated in 2015, Son Heung-min, our current club captain, scored his first ever Spurs goal against the very same opposition that we played at the Old Lane before we tore it down. So yeah, I hope he does find his form by maybe scoring a goal or two against Karabakh. But if I were Big Ange, and I might get pelters for this, I might ruffle some feathers, but for me, the Europa League should not take priority over the bread and butter that is the Premier League for us. I mean, yes, this is why, you see, I can see Mr. Boxall wagging his finger at me, and I fully get it. You want to take part in all the competitions. You want to field your best possible teams. You want to win whatever trophies available. It's all fine and good if we are getting towards the business end of the competition. Let's say, touch wood, fingers crossed, if we do feel a very strong team against Karabakh on Thursday, and then we have to play away at Manchester, the red half of Manchester on Sunday, and we find ourselves not up for the fight, or we are not prepared for it because we are coming down from having played on a Thursday, and that subsequently affects the next Brighton and Hove Albion match. Will putting all our eggs in one basket against Karabakh be worth the while, and sacrifice, say, a point away at Old Trafford? Or would you say, let the kids get a run out? We saw glimpses of Mikey Moore, we saw Lucas Bergvall, we even saw Archie Gray come on towards the latter stages of our Saturday win against Brentford. Let the kids have a run out. If things aren't going well, we always have the luxury of our substitutes bench. But this is the thing about fatigue with the players. Yes, they are professionals, and yes, they have all these regimes and all these physios and whatever help they need to rest up and ready for the next match. But yeah, okay, what Crisando here is saying is exactly what I'm trying to highlight here. See, what he's saying here depends what you want to do in the league. If you set your eye as high as only 4th, then I want to take the Karabakh seriously. Yes, I get it. Take it seriously, but not to the point whereby it then jeopardizes our European qualification for next season. If let's say we find ourselves in the knockout phases, and we have a very good chance of making it all the way to the final based on the teams that are left in the competition, then yes, we can start to take this competition seriously. But this is only the first game of the campaign, the European campaign. Should we really be putting all the priorities on the first leg of the campaign? Yes, we might win this first game by a big margin, but touch wood, let's say if towards the latter stages, we suddenly lose steam and we don't make it into the knockout stages. Is it worth that while? So this is where I think Big Ange and our coaching staff need to earn their pay, really show why we need coaches and managers with this sort of planning and their intricacies where they deal with the shuffling and the rotation of players. And put up too much pressure and don't give yourself too much hopes against Karabakh. That's all I have to say on this. I think Mr. Boxer is going to take over from here now.
No, I hear you, but I would like to think that we've got enough quality in our squad to put out a team similar to the one we put out at Coventry and still beat Karabakh. I know that's not their name, by the way, but it's just easier than saying Karabakh or however you say it. So, I mean, I do expect some changes. I mean, Chang, before, because obviously we will do a show before then, but Chang, what's your score prediction against Karabakh? Do you expect us to win easy or?
I expect us to win, but not by a big margin, to be honest. Maybe an odd goal or two. 2-0. I'll go for a 2-0. I will take a clean sheet and Son to get on the score sheet, and possibly even one of the youngsters getting on the score sheet, scoring their debut goal for Spurs. That will be the dream Thursday night game for me against Karabakh.
Yeah. Ronnie says Vicario, Gray, Radu, Van der Ven, Davis, Bentancur, Saar, Bergvall, Moore, Solanke, Johnson. Are you in agreement there, AJ? Sort of put out a similar sort of team that we put out against Coventry, or do you want us to go sort of more full strength?
I don't usually disagree with Shane, but I do disagree with him in this instance.
Okay.
We saw what happened when we tried to take liberties at Coventry. Now, I would probably say that Coventry are a bigger threat than Karabakh. However, it's our first game. You need to set your stall out, right? So let's go with a strong team. Let's do what we should have done against Coventry. Let's keep 7 or 8 of the first team players. Top it up with the younger players, your Bergvalls and your Mikey Moores. Give them a chance. Get the game won early on, 3-0 up. Then bring on your youth players. You take everyone else off, the players that you need rested for the trip against Man United. We're at home. We haven't got to travel, right? We're not traveling to that. They're in Azerbaijan, I do believe they are, aren't they? Karabakh, is it Azerbaijan?
Yeah.
We aren't traveling there. We're at home, so the fatigue from traveling isn't an issue. get the game done early, win our first game comfortably in Europe, then that also builds confidence, right? Because you're starting as you mean to go on. If we take liberties, put out a weaker team, and we don't get the rub of the green, we don't get a smash and grab like we did against Coventry, and we draw or lose the game, instantly we're playing catch up. Then that creates a negative mindset into going into the league. You don't want to be going against United, who are a team that will either play really well or really badly. You don't want to be playing them off the back of a substandard performance, a game where you know you could have done better. You want to go in there full of confidence. Let's have three wins on the bounce. Play United, play them off the park, get the job done, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I do hear it. I want us to take this Europa League very, very seriously, because I think we've got a massive chance. Man United, there's a couple in there that I'm a bit nervous about, but generally I think we've got a huge chance. Yeah, that does worry me that if Vicario got a red, we got 4-star. It doesn't bear thinking about. I just think he's useless. Since Terry said Forster looks like he's from the Munsters, I can't unsee it. Yeah, and he plays like he's from the Munsters and all. Look, I've set up a redirect to Benji, so stay where you are, and you'll go over to him. His stream starts at 2, but smash a like. Any closing thoughts, Jimbo? Or?
Yeah, you did ask me about Thursday.
Well, because we will do a match preview, won't we? But yeah, you can say your bit.
No, I just think we should go for every trophy, Kate. I do. We've got a big enough squad now. Well, all we've got to do is make a few tweaks, you know, and it's 2 games a week. I'm sure they can handle that, and I think we should be going. I don't want to not prioritise anything. Prioritise the whole lot of them. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'll make you right. Chang, when can we find you next?
If nothing happens from between now and Thursday night, I will be doing yet another watch along, either on LTEL Cockerel or on Talk and Ball or any other channel that will have me. The last 2 watch alongs with Jose Garcia and Mr. Sievers were awesome. And yeah, I would very much like to do a 3rd consecutive watch along with them. And after Thursday, immediately after Thursday, if you are doing a Friday noon preview show for the match day 6 fixtures this coming Friday, and even to dissect the Thursday night game the night before on that Friday, I would very much like to be on if you'll have me. And yeah, that's about all I have in the foreseeable future. And yeah, thanks again, as always, for having me on. And come on, you Spurs.
Chang, thank you as always for coming. I hope you feel better and you don't get the lurgy. AJ, you on anywhere? Booked in anywhere?
You know me, I'm somewhat of a floater. Sometimes I'm a guest. Sometimes I'm a guest at the request of Adrian. Sometimes I'm joining Colin and Jamie. Sometimes I pop up even on a Jose's channel. So you know, wherever I'm welcomed, I'll put my hat down and make it my home. But no, for the next few days, I will be in Portsmouth. I will be checking in. I will be seeing how everyone's doing. But yeah, I'm busy for the next few days. But anyone that will have me, I'm not a proud man. Anyone that will have me, I'll go wherever they want me.
Brilliant, AJ. Thank you for jumping in and being our super sub today.
You're absolutely welcome. It's been a privilege.
Jimbo. In fact, before I come to you and you end with some crazy little monologue, I want to say thanks to Spurs GCTV 7-month member, Phil Coys for 3 months, and Steve D for 10 months. Thank you all. You're all legends. I will try and get a queries and theories in this week. I will also try and get a member show in this week. But we will be back. We will do a preview for Carrier Bag. Maybe on Thursday. Oh no, I've got my physio. It won't be Thursday. Maybe Wednesday. I don't know. But we'll sort it out. But keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you've got the notification button on so you know when we are on. Thank you, everyone. Love AJ on this chat. There, Lisa's giving you the love. And Matt saying Rodri out for the season. Yes, indeed. And yet it may be tomorrow. We shall see. But Jimbo,
well, first of all, before you say close it up, Kate, where's Joey Barton?
He's not in
Joey Barton. Yeah. We're
he
down
only shows his face when we lose.
We're down from 15 to 14.
Yes, of course, for the bet. Yes. Joey likes to come in when we lose. When we win, he's nowhere to be seen. I don't know where he is, the little rascal. He's hiding under a rock somewhere.
One down, 14 to go. That's what
exactly. I say. But go on, Jimbo. You can finish the show as only you can.
Well, I did tell everyone that we would rise from the flames, and you all laughed, especially you, Katie. You was laughing at me, right? And we're going to rise even more Thursday. And then on Sunday, we're going to rise even more, and you're going to see a completely different outlook to this side. We are Tottenham Hotspur, and you cannot keep us down. So all you doubters, fuck you. We are Spurs.